Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Escobedo and I'm the Chief Naturalist at Dunes Learning Center. We're an environmental learning center located inside the Indiana Dunes National Park. And in my free time, I love to do things like fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, but most importantly, I love to explore with the students that come to visit us. But today, I'm taking all of my skills and all of my hobbies and I'm putting them to the test. I'm going on an adventure. What kind of adventure, might you ask? Well, I was digging around some old archives when I discovered an article dating back from 2013 that talked about a Sandsquatch. And that got me curious. What's a Sandsquatch? So on my adventure, I'm using all of my skills and all of my scientific curiosity, and I'm going to see what I can discover. And I'm taking you to explore along with me in the search for Sandsquatch. All right, folks. So as I was reading through this article, I found that it kept referring to a Professor Audru, an expert in the field of cryptozoology. And calling around a lot of different places and reaching out to a lot of different people, I was able to get in contact with this Professor Audru, and we actually set up an interview. And here's how it went. Hello?
Hi, yes.
Hi, my name is Anthony. I'm a naturalist at the Indiana Dunes.
Hello, Anthony. My name is Professor Audru. I am an expert on cryptozoology.
Cryptozoology? What is that?
So, cryptozoology is the study of and search for animals that still remain a mystery to this day. This includes legendary animals such as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. This is done in an effort to evaluate the possibility of their existence. Basically, we're trying to prove if they are real or not.
But why would somebody want to study a legendary animal?
Well, if you look across history, there have been a few examples of creatures that have been thought to not have been real. However, as science has progressed over the years, we've been able to determine that these creatures are, in fact, real. Well, some of them, anyway. I think one of the reasons why I study cryptozoology is that it's because it brings a great deal of excitement and mystery.
Okay. What advice would you give somebody who was kind of looking to go on a cryptid adventure?
Well, first and foremost, you have to begin your adventure with an open mind. Really embrace your inner curiosity and imagine that quite anything is possible. Now, if you truly want to document your adventure, you have to have strong observational skills. Draw connections and make predictions. Now, to do that, you'll want a good notebook for taking notes. Notes can include things like where did you find it? When did you find it? Why do you think it's there? Be sure to include specific details with your notes. Then also, having a good camera will allow you to document your evidence and then go back and consult it later.
Okay. So I recently came across an article posted by the Daily Dunes that talked about your study here looking for Sasquatch, whom you coined the term Sandsquatch. Can you provide us a little more detail about that article?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I am very familiar with that case. I came across a report of a local resident who believed they spotted one outside of their home. My team and I were deployed there for about a week, and although we found some compelling evidence, we were never able to confirm a sighting.
And where exactly was your term or your team searching?
So at Indiana Dunes, there is a site called the Dunes Learning Center. If you head south about a quarter of a mile, you'll come across an old trail. From there, go east about 60 paces, and you'll find an old creek bed. If you follow that old creek bed, you'll find the remnants of our site.
Oh, that's not too far from me at all. I'm gonna have to check that out. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, best of luck to you. One last thing before you begin your adventure, you must always have your PMA.
Oh, I can do that. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, folks, so that was the information that I was able to gather from the professor. Before I go off on my adventure, I've taken some of the recommendations that the professor had for me, and I've gathered a few supplies to help us along the way. So first and foremost, I have a first aid kit. The professor also recommended to have a good notebook for taking detailed notes and making good observations with, so I brought one of these along with me. I also have a good camera so that I can document any kind of evidence or see any kind of pictures that I can then later go back to and look at. I also have my squirrel in case things get scary. And finally, the professor talked about heading south first. So I brought along a compass with me to help me point in the direction of which is south. So I have a little experience using a compass, and I know that in order for me to head south, I need to turn this dial so that south is at the top. And this is the direction that I'm going to travel. And then all I need to do is just hold it close to my body and turn it until the two red arrows line up. And then I travel in the direction that this arrow is pointing me, and that's south. Okay, so we followed the direction south for a quarter mile. I think we found an old trail here that we're going to turn the dial east and then head down this trail. All right, so just like last time, we were headed south. Now if we turn our dial to the east and we hold it close to our body and we turn the dial so that it points east, you see that it lines up with this trail, and we're going to head down this trail and see if we can find the creek bed. Whoa, look at this. Whoa. Looks like some kind of equipment. Who's that?